Alrighty. So once you have the query built out, like I mentioned, there's a few ways to schedule the data. You can either download the full data set, text, CSV, JSON, Markdown are a few options. You can share the URL. So if you share the URL, either the full URL or the shortened URL, you can drop this into any web browser. And if you have a Looker login, you'll be just dropped into the same view right here. The person who opens it can then modify the query, change the filters, etc. And then scheduling is pretty easy as well. So once we have this query saved, we can either tell Looker to run the query on timed intervals. So if we want this query to go out weekly on maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we can define the intervals. We can define the time zone that the end user is receiving the query in. So this is just going to define when the query is rendered and sent out. We can define how we want the query to look. So, the most common is the inline visualization. But if the end user may want to, do some sort of post query analysis on the data, we can send it in CSV or text for them. You can add any number of email addresses to the query, and then down here is actually a pretty neat feature. We have this conditional filter for sending of the email. So the most common use case for this is just anomaly detection. So we have companies who will look for suspicious activity. So you can imagine a bank may want to see every 5 minutes check to see if there's a transaction for over $100,000 by a user who's less than 7 days old, which would indicate some sort of suspicious activity is occurring. We also have applications or app companies who are using this to look for, if their daily active user count drops below a certain threshold, maybe, drops below their 7-day running average by more than 15%, give me an alert within 1 hour of this activity, but only if there are results and if they've changed since the last email. So you can really catch this, this sort of, uncommon behavior before it becomes a problem, or, things as simple as making sure that your Zendesk has all closed tickets and your support team's working efficiently. So really, really anything you can think of can become a query, and then become a filter on this scheduler. So a lot of options there. Additionally, every query you build is going to have a iframe associated with it. So if you want to embed data outside of the application, I'll actually show you an example of a Huffington Post article. So, you take the iframe, you can drop it in to your third-party application, into your own website, really anywhere that you want. And it's going to render just like it does within the application. It's going to be interactive. If this ever loads, I'll show you what it looks like outside the application. This is one of our clients, Donors Choose. They are crowdfunding for education, and they have embedded a few queries from Looker in here. There's one interactive one right here that's just loading now. So you'll see the iframe right here pop up, hopefully. So powered by Looker, and this is just re-querying their database right now, I believe. And this is a public endpoint, so a lot of eyes on this. And it's interactive. You can filter by just clicking on these tiles down here.
Now, yeah, I'm interested to talk more about that, but yeah, we can keep going.
Sure, yeah, I'll cover that in a second. And then additionally, we have integration with Google Spreadsheets and Excel. So it's pretty straightforward. You can imagine Looker's going to pipe the query result sets as a CSV into Google Spreadsheets. So we just use the import XML function of Google Spreadsheets. Every time you refresh the spreadsheet, you're going to see an up-to-date view of that data. Excuse me. Sorry, it's quite slow working from my home office, which could be the issue. So here we have the exact same view pretty much of that query we were looking at. You can do any sort of post-processing analysis within Google Spreadsheets. Then every time you refresh the page, like I mentioned, you'll have new data. And the same goes for Excel. So it's sort of like SQL reporting services, but you get the Looker modeling layer on top of it, and it works with any database. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in terms of collaboration. So I will